Amanda.
Good morning or good afternoon. Are you online? So how's it going?
It's going good. It's going good. I'm just in self-isolation here.
Yep, ditto.
It's starting to get really weird because now all the people that didn't believe it was real are starting to admit it's real.
Of course. Of course. When did we do our video that we talked about that all this is going to happen, like 5 weeks ago?
I got to look back. I can't even remember. But
Yeah,
I remember
you and I.
I remember you and I both said that we thought it would be all over the world, and we thought it was really weird that Indonesia was saying that they didn't have it, despite being surrounded by all the Asian countries and Australia that all said they had it. And remember, we talked about this and we said, oh, why would they not admit that they have it other than to try to squeeze as much as they could out of the tourism? And now, because they thought more about the tourism than they thought about the health and safety of the public, we now have a pandemic, and there's people in Indonesia that have died. There's people in Canada that have died. There's people all over the world that are dying. And
yeah, we're at an 8% death rate right now. 8% fatality in Indo.
Yeah, and that is frightening. That is frightening. And are you aware that Italy today reported 793 deaths in one day?
Oh my God. Well, I just woke up like 10 minutes ago. It's 8 a.m. Sunday. No. Oh my God, that's disgusting. Okay, just when I was getting out of bed, I saw an article that said something like they're expecting us to be the next Italy in Indo, but I didn't read it yet. I just got out of bed.
Yeah, it's very, very frightening to think what has happened to this world. I mean, people are dying.
People are still ignoring it.
Well, no,
and people are still ignoring it.
I mean, they're starting to realize this is real. I mean, like, even my son, when I spoke to him today, and he calls me up to tell me that one of his favorite soccer players got it. Dybala in Italy, who plays with Ronaldo, he got it.
I was just going to say, as long as you don't give it to Ronaldo, the world will be okay.
Oh. And they're on the same team. Son, who's a soccer player, that's like one of his idols. And like his idol got it. So it's like when you start seeing...
Well, that might make it real for people then. It might make it real for some.
Yeah.
I just saw something that angered me because what I've been doing, like before I get out of bed, I'm going scrolling through the expat groups just to see what they're saying. And it honestly just got mad because I just saw this post from this girl. She looks young, but I don't know. Either way, it doesn't matter. She said, all my friends have gone back to their home countries. I'm lonely. Can somebody come and hang out with me? We can go to the beach or go to the club. I was like, wow, if I can reach through my phone and slap you right now, I would.
So some people are just, some people are just in denial. But I mean, pretty soon, I mean, the fines that Toronto is giving business owners that are trying to stay open are tremendous.
Oh, really? How much?
Tremendous. 100,000 up to 500,000 up to $500,000 to stay open and jail time.
That's unreal. That's what has to happen until they send out the military on the streets like Italy and Wuhan just shooting. Or do you remember the video of people saying, oh my God, I can't believe in Wuhan people are getting shot and beat up? It's going to be you now because you're not listening and you're not respecting people.
The world changed.
Like here, I love my country. I love Indonesia so much. You know, this is my home. But the lack of real information that was going around left people's lives at risk. Like their local person said, oh, you'll be fine here. Just don't go to the city. Bali's a small island. It's like the size of Kona, Hawaii, I say. Just don't go to the city. Like, no, it's everywhere. There's local Balinese that have it. They live in, like, people still think you can't get it.
It's weird. I saw this article from Bill Gates. And I don't know how he knows this, but it's a little bit eerie. He's saying...
That's been making me nervous.
Are you ready for this? So, in China right now, in Wuhan, they're reporting that in the last 3 days, they have no cases in Wuhan.
Huh. I thought I did read that there was new cases in Wuhan yesterday.
No, apparently they're reporting they have had no cases. Apparently they have had cases in China, but not in Wuhan,
Okay,
which is the
sense.
epicenter of where this all started. Apparently they're saying now, people in Wuhan, and this is just weird, okay?
Okay.
They are opening up Wuhan again.
What?
So
cases doesn't mean it's cleaned up. There's up to 21 days incubation, they say still.
No, I know,
others
but
can still have it.
Something weird is going on. Something
yeah.
They're starting to open up some areas. I'm not saying that they've opened up all of Wuhan. What I'm saying is they're starting to open up some things in Wuhan that they've had closed down for a long time. So what they're suggesting, and Bill Gates is suggesting this too, which is just weird. Bill Gates came out and just suggested that this will pass in 6 to 10 weeks.
Bullshit.
I don't know. Something's going on because Bill Gates has come out. He's saying that this should pass in 6 to 10 weeks.
Did the NIH give him an honorable medical degree or something? I'd like to know that. Where does he get this information from? Rich, it was 10 weeks ago this all started. I know.
Hey, I'm just trying to say that it's very weird that the Canadian economy is falling, the European economy is falling, the American economy is falling, and you can actually see that in the last month, all of the economies, like all the major economies, UK, everywhere, all over the world has collapsed.
Except for the US is not so bad.
Between 10 and 26%. They all went down this month.
Yeah.
And guess who's up?
US.
No,
I know.
China.
Because
No, China.
Oh, really?
So all of a sudden, China went through this. They seem to be coming out the other side now. They're still wearing masks. They're still not fully, they're still locked down. But all of a sudden, China seems to be coming back out through the other side. And I know you work with some Chinese companies, so we can talk about that more.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
What do you think about the idea that this was some type of financial war? And China went through it first and has found a way somehow, because it seems like they are, to get through it. And now here we are. They're not going to necessarily share their ideas of what's worked for them, but here we are trying to. It just mysteriously goes away because that novel, the novel that was written, like the book.
That's right.
Book
it comes as quickly as it goes. That's what it said.
The book states
it will leave as quickly as it comes.
And isn't it weird and eerie that it seems to be disappearing now, apparently, in Wuhan? And Bill Gates is coming out now, and he's suggesting that it could be gone in 6 to 10 weeks. Almost as if they're playing with a frequency. Okay, we're going to give it to China. Then we'll give it to Italy. Then we'll give it to Spain.
Yeah.
Then we'll give it to
And then you guys are getting hit hard.
America. Then we'll give it to Canada. Then we'll take it away from China. I don't know, man. It's weird.
I don't know. It's so weird. It's scary. I thought, that this was something that, nature threw at us because it happens. But all the stuff I've been reading has been making me feel really uncomfortable. And I don't want to ever have to think that some human or a group of elite humans would have some kind of, would be able to live with themselves knowing that they killed it's probably going to be close to 1 million people by the time this is done, right? How it's really hard to even fathom that could happen. Are you
honestly doubting that there's people out there that
no
that would do that?
I want to doubt that there's people out there, because it just makes me sick to think that there's people that couldn't. And honestly, Rich, up until a couple days ago, I was doubting it hardcore. I was like, nah. But then, Drew is bringing up all these stuff, and he's seriously worried about it, right? And then Drew and I think it was Jamie was throwing out some good facts, and I read some good facts, and I just kind of freaked out a little bit. Like, these patents and stuff are a little bit weird. They're a little bit weird. Like, of course, viruses need to be, vaccines are created from a live virus, but they do make them into like basically like a dead version. But I read that patent, and it looked like the virus. They mutated the virus to create a new. Why would you do that? Why?
I don't know. There's weird stuff going on. There's just weird stuff going on. Yeah, I mean, I've done so much research. I honestly don't know what to believe.
No, it scares me.
I don't know what to believe with any of it right now. It just seems crazy. We've been told to stop working. We're being told in Ontario that if we try to keep our businesses open, we will be fined anywhere from 100,000 to 500,000 and have jail time.
Is that only Doug Ford? Is that only in Toronto, or is that all over Ontario right now?
I was listening to the news in Ontario that they were speaking to Ontario.
Okay.
It's just
because my brother
crazy.
said the only thing open was a liquor store and a beer store. Yeah, it's just for being stranded, and they got nothing, not even a response. Just we heard about it, but we don't know what's going on. That was like a week ago.
Yeah, I think that it's not going to happen right away. It's going to be more of like a process. You're not going to get funding right away. But what people can do is people can call up their banks. They can go into their banks and they can make arrangements. Like if you're not working and you can't pay credit cards, you can't pay your car loans, you can't pay your mortgage, go into your bank. Like go into your bank. Like go
is this like an
bank.
Interest-free deferment?
Yeah, like 6 months, no interest, no payments.
Wow.
Yeah, like so it's catastrophic what it's going to do for the banks.
It is catastrophic.
What it's going to do, really is. What it's going to do for the back on those 6 months to the term of your loan.
Right.
So what they're going to do is they're going to say, okay, yeah, well, for 6 months we don't make any money, but we're going to make money now for 6 more months. After those 6 months, because hopefully people have to work. Some people won't be able to find work after this, but
there's going to be a lot of homeless people.
There will be.
That's for sure.
There'll be a lot of homeless people. There's going to be a lot of people trying to figure out where they're going to make their next dollar. So it's going to be a crazy, crazy, crazy time. And
I know.
My advice to everybody is get online, guys. Get online. Make money online. Find ways to make money online. Get online. Now's the time. This is the new world that we're living in. Find a way to make money online. Find a way to make money trading. I know Amanda trades. I trade. Find different ways to make money online. There's so many different ways you can make money online. This is the new world because I'm not allowed to leave my house.
And there is ways to make money online. Like look at you. I mean, if you join the academy, like you have going on, right? You can teach people how to make money there. There's people who are teaching online. They're teaching Chinese students. There's lots of people here that are expats that teach English to Chinese kids on the internet. And they make pretty, not bad. They're making $25 an hour US.
There are companies that are hiring right now. So companies that are online.
So you don't need to be homeless.
Yeah, like my trading academy, they're booming right now. So, some companies that are online or online-based businesses are growing. Amazon is hiring right now. Amazon is hiring.
Yeah, because all their staff is dying.
Well, I don't know. I hope it's not because their staff is dying. Jeez, but I hope it's...
I'm probably exaggerating. I just remember seeing the Seattle branch had a whole bunch of quarantines that they had to do because some of the people got COVID in their warehouse.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
That is absolutely terrible.
So that's probably why Amazon is hiring.
Wow.
But the nice will happen again. I know there was people in Australia that had tried to order some Amazon stuff and it would just say lead time can't be promised, basically. Meanwhile, thanks for paying me, but I don't know if I can get the goods to you. But
it's a crazy situation right now. So you right now, you work with a company that does do business with companies in China, correct?
Yeah. Yeah, we have a factory, and we have 2 factories in China.
Okay, so how is that operating? Is it operational yet?
Well, we've been operational, but at ridiculous costs. Like, and I'm talking, we weren't able to source raw materials. So we were able to bring our factory workers to work, but we couldn't source materials for them to make what we needed them to do because those factories. So it's like the whole supply chain is interrupted. Obviously, our factory workers were able to work, so we kept them there. So we did have to source raw materials. We ended up paying ridiculous amounts, like in some cases 300% more than we normally pay.
Wow.
And it just got a little bit worse.
And that's because the cost of doing business is more expensive because everything's shut down, right?
Supply and demand, right? Supply and demand. So it's only the richest of rich companies are going to be able to afford that and still survive. The rest are going to be scraping the bottom bucket.
Yeah,
so
most companies are not going to be able to survive 300% costs.
Right.
Increase.
Well, it just got a little bit worse as of last week. Now that the US dollar, like, look at the US dollar. So basically, we're an Australian company and we're paying these Chinese companies in US dollar. So we had to pay a bill on Wednesday. So I told you raw materials were already on paper. The cost was already about 300% more. Well, that just doubled because the US dollar was what, 56 cents? 56 cents in the Australian dollar. So we're basically paying another double on top of that.
Wow.
When the bill shows up.
That's crazy.
So make that 600% by the time it's all said and done.
That's incredible.
That was another little loop.
Yeah. So how is the world going to be able to continue to operate like this? And how long can the world last operating like this?
Right. Like people are thinking, oh, China's going back to work. Yeah, they are. But how many companies can afford to spend this next? Even if it's only 10 weeks, even 10 weeks can bury anybody.
Oh,
you know, we're a multi-million-dollar company. And the truth is we've had to lay people off this week. Like we're struggling in a company that never struggled before.
Wow. Well, so, I think, you know, you guys are lucky to even be in business. I mean, there's a lot of businesses that aren't even in business. They're not even operating at all.
We just work with really smart people who are willing to take a loss to get through this. That's
I think a lot of people are
there's
smart.
Going to be some losses.
I think everybody's smart to just shut it down, reduce costs, because the loss of this, of just the momentum of business that's being lost, it can't be quantified. Like it can't be.
You're
quantified.
Right. It can't. It's going to get worse.
Yeah, because we're talking like a depression that I never even seen anything like it. Like you're talking about every country in the world stopping business all at the same time.
Yeah.
Just think about
that.
Like every country in the world and everybody's being told to go stay inside. Go stay inside. Wash your hands. This is all everybody keeps saying. But it doesn't make a difference how many people they tell. Every day we keep seeing these numbers getting higher and higher.
Yeah, because so many aren't listening. And look at who's going to be crying when they come out with the military and say, no, you're in lockdown Wuhan style now. You know, we're going to you and take your, you know, sick people out of your house in chains. And these are going to be the first people to say, oh, no, how did this happen? Because you didn't freaking listen. You didn't listen 8 weeks ago. Like, just stay home. I don't see why it's so difficult. It's actually kind of nice. Read a book. Connect with your family.
I know you got friends that know Elon Musk, right?
Yeah.
And Elon Musk is like, I'm such a fanboy of his because he's just so funny. He's so funny. And he thinks this entire
He's forward thinking.
Yeah, he thinks this entire thing's a joke, right? So he thinks this whole thing's just like a complete joke. Everybody's overreacting. Everybody's crazy. So
yeah, he's also in LA. Don't forget that. He's in lockdown as well.
No, of course, everybody is. And that's why I'm saying, like, yesterday I'm watching YouTube and Will Smith is live from his house with other celebrities talking about it. I mean, he's telling everybody to stay home. Like this is what the most powerful, richest people in the world are doing. You know, and then Elon is like, this is the thing that caught my attention that Elon made me laugh. He's like, all we have to do is do nothing and we can save the world, right? Like all we have to do to save the world is do nothing and we can't even do that. And it goes to show,
so true?
It goes to show what type of people we are. Like, all we have to do to save the world is do nothing, and we still
can't
do it.
I gotta text Eric and see his thoughts on this. I haven't even asked him because those two are pretty tight. I kind of want to now see how he feels about this. I'm gonna text him today. I'll send you screenshots.
Yeah, I mean, because I follow him on Instagram.
All you have to do is do nothing.
Yeah, all we got to do to save human life and save mankind is do nothing. I mean, it's a no-brainer.
Legend.
It's a no-brainer. Nothing. The government's even going to give us money. They're going to give us loans. Banks are telling us, okay, so I got a message from RBC saying,
okay,
don't worry, you can defer your payments. The bank
actually sent that to you voluntarily.
The bank is messaging me to tell me, don't worry, you can defer payments. Just call us. Just go into a branch. Like, I'm like, I don't want to go into a branch. You know what I mean? I don't want to go into a branch right now. So, but if I can defer my payments, I'd like to defer payments too. You know, I have a car loan, so with RBC. So if I can defer those payments every 2 weeks, I'd like to defer those payments every 2 weeks for 6 months. Tack that onto the term of my, my loan. Why not? So I think this is what they're messaging customers and telling, hey, by the way, this is fine. We're here to help you. And I respect that. I respect the fact that they're not making it difficult.
Yeah, me too. 100%. 100%. And the truth is, like, what were you telling me yesterday? People were going to be getting like, what is it, like $1,000 a month or something to live off of?
Well, the Canadian government just announced that they're going to do $900 every 2 weeks to Canadians for 15 weeks.
Okay, so $2,000. Think about it this way. If someone would just stay home long enough to just use their head and grab a pen and a paper, which I know most people don't know what that is anymore, but grab a pen and a paper and write down how much money you spend going out. I just had this conversation with my sisters. Think about how much money you spend going out. So, your $5 coffee 2 or 3 times a day, your dinner's out, your lunch out, when you add that all up, you don't need that much money right now because you're not going out.
That's right. So
all you need to do
a lot of people are going to bank.
Oh, you don't even have to pay your mortgage.
A lot of people are going to bank. A lot of people are going to bank in this situation, right?
That's right. That's right.
So that's why I think it's a good idea. Give money to everybody. Don't just pick
and then come invest it.
Yeah, exactly. They're either going to invest it or they're going to go and they're going to spend it. And that's going to stimulate the economy.
But you don't need to spend any right now.
No, I know, but people will spend their money. You give people money. You give people money, and they will spend it, Amanda. Maybe not you, but you give people money, and they will spend
no one's giving me money.
They will spend it. Trust me.
I'm not a resident anymore. No one's giving me any money. But the point is here's what I've been telling other people, and I've told this to my family, and I mean it. I think I'm kind of onto something. I'm not onto something. I just am being realistic. Think about the 80s, okay? When did Warren Buffett start? Like around the 80s. He said he started gathering his millions, billions when he was in his 50s. So that's like around the 80s. He bought shit when everything, sorry about my language, when everything was just terrible, like we're about to see, right? And what is he now? A billionaire. Why? Because he lives in the same house he lived in. Yep. He drives a random car. He doesn't spend a whole whack of money. And he took his little middle-class income and invested it and made billions. We're going to have that chance to do this exact same thing soon. That's the bright side.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And
if you take this $2,000 a month that you're getting and in 3 months you invest your $6,000, like I remember when I first started trading, how hard it took me to get to my first $10,000. After that, the rest is gravy. You're just getting a gift of 6. So just start learning. That's what I'm telling people. Just start learning now. It's not the end of the world. Learn to save. You're being forced to save because you can't go anywhere. And nothing will be open. Right? And if you're shopping online, you're still an asshole because that means that somebody still has to come to your house and deliver something to you. That's how I feel. So take this as a gift. It kind of I know this is sad and lots of people are getting hurt, but in the end, if you look at this in a smart way, this can be a bit of a gift.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of opportunity for people to go home now, rest, take some time, spend time with their family, sleep.
Connect with friends and family that people don't do anymore.
People can go home and read books. People can go home and learn how to trade. People can learn how to invest in the stock market. People can learn new skills.
This is a perfect time to learn how to trade.
Yeah, people can learn new skills.
Perfect time to learn how to trade.
People can learn how to cook. Mm-hmm. People can learn new languages. Like, there's so many different things you can do from home. And nowadays, everything is online, so you can still communicate with people through Zoom, Skype, Google Hangouts, on your phone, computers. So there's just so much technology now. It's just
I've actually had more real conversations with my friends and family back home this week than I've had in ages. It's usually just a little text here and there. But I've had like real meaningful conversations with people lately, and I'm really enjoying it. It's something that people don't usually have time to do anymore.
I have a member saying lots of people still working in Ontario, but if they try to continue to work, they are going to find.
Yeah.
So this is the thing.
And they're already crying they have no money.
Yeah. So we all know that people want to continue to work. We all want to continue to work. We all have bills and expenses and lifestyles that we want to maintain. But we're going to lose our lifestyles, whether we like it or not. Like, this is a historic event.
If you haven't already, then you have a problem.
Yeah. This is a historic event. And the world just got weird, right? So we're being told to stay in our homes. We're being told to self-isolate. This is a very, very weird time. Like, I have never in my lifetime, and I don't think anyone in any lifetime has ever seen any. So
no, absolutely not.
How do you
never
deal with
imagined
something?
This.
Yeah, how do you deal with something that we've never dealt with before? And then the only thing we know is that we were looking at China like, wow, that looks really weird. That's like out of a movie. Now all of a sudden we're dealing with it. I feel like they dealt with it better. Like, over there, everybody wears a mask. Here,
they always do as a norm.
No, I know, but here nobody's wearing a mask. So you want to see where it's going to spread. You want to see why it's going to spread faster. Well, nobody's wearing a mask here because everyone's too cool for a mask. Well, over there, everybody's wearing a mask. So there's a reason why they're going to be able to come out the other side. Whereas here in North America, we're so attached to our things. This is going to become like an eye-opener to show the world.
It's a reset button.
Yeah, like, your things don't matter. Like, who cares about your car, your mansion, and your health is your wealth.
Yeah.
Your health is your wealth.
You said that yesterday. This puts everybody on a level playing field.
It does.
Everybody is the same. Whenever did we think that would happen, right? Where everybody is the same.
Amanda, I got a question. I got a question here. What's the best stocks to buy right now? To start off since the market is at a low right now. So you're saying inverse
I don't think it's at a low.
You think it's going to go lower?
Yes.
Just maybe this is only going to last 6 to 10 weeks. And if it is only going to last 6 to 10 weeks, maybe
then I'm getting in 10 weeks.
To find a vaccine. Just imagine they did find a vaccine. What would that do to the markets?
Oh, it's going to be beautiful,
right?
And I think it's going to be an OVO.
things would turn around like something fierce, right?
Yeah.
So
I wonder. Part of me wonders if we have a vaccine of some sort through China and didn't tell us, a vaccine or some kind of immunotherapy. Inovio is the only one that's going to be able to test in China their vaccine. I know 4,800. They're testing starting next month in Canada and China because they're with a vaccine company in Beijing. However, I don't know. Part of me thinks maybe they already trialed something in Wuhan. They could have. They're a pretty smart workforce. They're not idiots.
Oh, I think they're the smartest. I think they're the smartest workforce. And we got to remember, they got a giant population.
Exactly.
Giant population.
Giant population. Like, there's really no other place in China that you could have started that would have been that rampant as Wuhan.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. the amount of international flights and trains and university students and everything going through there. So there's a lot of smart people in Wuhan.
Yeah,
I know.
a lot of people were when this was in China. A lot of people were like, "Oh, this is China's problem."
No,
But
it's not.
now it's become a world's problem because it's in 188 countries worldwide.
We knew it was going to be the world's problem. Like when we had this on our last conversation saying, no, we're not going to get it. You guys are just spreading fear. Who are you to think that you can talk like this? You must be an idiot. And now I'm just like, I want to go back to all those people and say, are you all right? Is your family okay? Still alive? Because we were right. It was only logical.
I think there are already vaccines out there that are being tested. I know that Gilead Sciences is very close and they're working with China.
Yes.
I think they're
they're doing immunotherapy. That's even better.
Yeah, so I think that
what Gilead is designing is actually meant to be a cure, not a vaccine. Vaccine is for prevention. What Gilead is making, that is meant to be a cure, which is fabulous. I like Gilead.
And they're seemingly getting better in China, reportedly.
Yeah.
So hopefully they know something and they're going to come out the other side of this. That's going to really, I think that's going to stimulate the world because they are the engine that kind of, everyone talks about America, but China really is the engine that kind of like when that shuts down, the whole world shuts down, right? So I think what's happening right now in Canada, United States is a delayed reaction. I think what's happening in Italy is an example of what happens when you don't take things seriously. And now that Italy is taking it seriously, I think we will see that at some point they will flatten the curve. But
yeah, I think so too.
It's terrifying to think about what's going on in Italy. Like the fact that they lost 400 people, 400 people, 600 people, and 700 people in the last 4 days. That's the death toll. I mean, that's tremendous. That's like almost 2,000 people, right? Or over 2,000.
What's their percentage of fatality rate? What's their mortality rate right now?
Oh man, it's frightening. It's so frightening. It's 53,578 reported cases. 6,557 over. Like it's just spreading like wildfire. 4,825 deaths. Puts them well ahead of China.
So they're pushing it 10%.
Pushes them well ahead of China. It's pushing them well ahead of China. 793 deaths overnight. 6,072 recovered. So it's like only a little bit more are recovering than that are dying. That's what's frightening to me. Critical condition.
Wow. I wish they would give us age ranges, because there is young people dying. Like I told you yesterday, I used to be scared to get it to not infect other people, but I actually am scared to get it for me now.
Yeah, I think you should be.
Yeah, I think we all should be. There's very young people getting sick. And this is directly from friends who work at VGH, Vancouver General Hospital, in critical care. There's very young people, like younger than you and I, that are in critical care.
Okay, so take a look at this. Listen to this. So, out of 1 million population, the total cases, Italy is by far the highest. 886 people out of every million have it. In China, it's only 56 out of every million.
I gotta argue that one. I do believe that it's probably likely just as virulent in China as it is in Italy. Because when China did their lockdown, there was people that were still in their homes with dead bodies that weren't getting picked up or taken out. So I think there's a lot of people that weren't counted.
Yeah, and I mean,
think
there may be, and that's always like, who knows if these numbers are correct?
Yeah.
Right? But based on the numbers that are being reportedly publicly, 6 cases, Italy, for every 1 million of their population, they have 886 cases. Spain,
oh my God.
Spain, for every 1 million in their population, has 545 cases. Switzerland is actually behind Italy. Be careful in Switzerland, guys, because I know there's members that are watching in Switzerland right now. 793 cases Only second right now to Italy in amount of people per 1 million. So
oh my God.
It's pretty frightening. And then when you look at some of the smaller islands and smaller countries like San Marino, they're at 4,715 for a million. You know, like some of the smaller islands and smaller places that are going to start to spread, it could get really, really bad. And especially some of the third world countries and the poorer countries that don't have the hospitals that we have, the medication that we have, the type of healthcare that we have, they're not going to be able to get through it as well as we have. So interestingly, when you look at the death toll, Canada and the United States in population per million are actually doing quite well. The United States is actually at 302 deaths, 24,218 cases, 4,800 new cases overnight, huge number, 46 deaths overnight, 171 people have recovered, 23,745 active cases. That means those people are currently either at home or at their hospitals. So it's still,
in Canada, you're only admitted if you're in critical condition.
Yeah,
Other than that, you go home to self-isolate.
Our hospitals will get overrun. And
yeah, they already are overrun. That's the problem. I've been having these conversations with my friends that are still working in emergent ICU, and that's they're worried right now because they were already in overflow, meaning there's not enough beds in the hospital. Okay. They were already in overflow from influenza because that starts in usually late October, early November. So you already have an overflow from influenza. Now, people who are critical condition with COVID, they require ventilation or intubation, which means you need a bed. You can't do that in a hallway. Intubation is basically life support. You are on a machine that makes you breathe. Same with ventilation. You need extra oxygen support. And talking to other doctors and nurses who are working in emergency and in ICU, they are so to work for you so you can stay home for us. That's why this is happening right now, because they're scared able to provide the care that we're known for in Western countries.
Yeah, I think that's it's going to turn, like, have you seen what it looks like when they're trying to deal with these people in Italy? Yeah. They got like bags over their heads. People are wearing these
we're going to be the same.
Like
you're going to be the same.
It's crazy.
It's already coming to that.
It's nuts.
It's already coming to that.
It's nuts.
So yeah, it's nuts. And to see people are working like animals just because other people are still going out to their cafes and bars and clubs and whatever it is that they do. And you have to think about healthcare. People in healthcare are trying their best right now, but they're suffering. They're suffering. I was talking to a friend who's an emergency doctor at BGH, and he sounded like he was crying. So I don't know if he was, but he sounded like it.
Oh yeah,
people are worried.
People are crying. I know people that I spoke to a nurse yesterday, and she told me she was been crying for 6 days.
Exactly. That's the reality.
And because they're worried, because now they're also worried.
Promising to give, and you have people who are that's your life. When you're working in healthcare, your whole entire life revolves around making sure other people, because they didn't get the care that they required, or my family member came in and you didn't treat them, so I'm going to sue you. That's going to happen. And that's the fear. And that's why people are saying, just stop coming. Stop getting sick and stop coming, because we can't provide you the care that we need to. And this is what people aren't realizing. I got goosebumps when I think about it. When you look at those hospitals in Wuhan, they have a lot of money. They're not some poor third world country. So when you see all those little tent hospitals that they had to because they had to. And Italy the same.
Soccer players getting it. They didn't want to shut down Italy. People were going to the beach. And now it's spread like wildfire. And even in Florida, in Miami, it was spring break. And people were all over the beach. And I was saying
that was just like here.
It's just like spreading like wildfire, and people are not taking it serious. And I'm like, listen, guys, not only are you risking your lives, you're risking everybody else's lives around you too. Your friends, your family, your parents, your kids, everybody's potentially at risk. Everybody.
Exactly. I've been saying the same thing. exact same thing.
So
Like,
I think that we are close to.
others.
I do believe we are close to a cure or a vaccine. I think it's coming. I think it's going to come faster than some people even think, especially because of the fact that the whole world is stopping. When you start seeing Bill Gates saying that he thinks things could get better in 6 to 10 weeks, just makes me feel like they know something that we don't know, you know? Like,
yeah, quite likely. Quite
you know?
likely. Especially Bill Gates is very heavily involved in, what do you call it, like medical innovations these days. Bill and Melinda, with vaccines and whatnot. However this came about, I'm uncomfortable with it, but either way, however this came about, they're heavily involved in it. And so I wouldn't doubt if something was already coming. I definitely wouldn't doubt it. But the point is, the waiting the 8 to 10 weeks, we still have, like, it still could be Italy and Wuhan in Canada and US. Well, you wait that 8 to 10 weeks. That's the shitty part.
Yeah, apparently they just canceled the UFC tonight.
Wow. Everything's canceled. Is there any sports that are still happening or no?
No, not that I know of. I mean, why would you want people contacting each other? You know, like,
yeah, hell no.
We're being told to stay away. We're being told to go home, and then you're gonna have guys fighting and touching each other. It just doesn't make any sense, right? So if everyone else has to go home, then the UFC has to go home too. It's just the way it goes.
Yeah.
It's not like the UFC is above the law. You know,
yeah,
I know Dana White wants to continue to put on the show, but listen, yeah. So, you know, plumbers,
restaurants are considered essential service.
Oh, they
Pretty
are
much
here.
Anything.
Restaurants open. You're not allowed to go in.
That's why we have stoves.
You're not allowed to go in the restaurant. You're not allowed to go in the restaurant anymore. Like, you can go in the restaurant just to pick things up, or they do delivery.
Okay.
But you can't.
Can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Whenever you feel like it. Next time you go to pick up food at a restaurant, can you take a video of how that's being done? Because I want to see what kind of decontamination actually taking at these restaurants. Like, are they just grabbing things and money, like money in packages from 100 different people in 2 hours and then carrying on and passing it to each other? Or are they decontaminating? I've ordered food a couple times, but I also spray it with Dettol before it comes in.
I don't know. I'm scared about that too. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm scared about that too.
Yeah.
You just gotta hope.
Around here, they're promoting contactless deliveries. So put your money out, tell the guy where it's going to be. He drops your food, you go get it when he's gone. But they're missing the part to tell people to disinfect your packages and your hands before you're eating it. Like, there's lots of missing pieces in this.
No, I know. It's just so crazy. Like, the whole thing we're doing right now is just like nothing can really get done properly like this. Right?
Yeah.
Like, the world cannot operate properly like this. Right?
I know.
It's like we can't just walk around with masks forever and disinfect everything. So we need to figure out a cure, and we need to figure it out soon.
Right?
Yeah. Like, I mean, I don't know. There's people out there.
I have a phobia of canned food.
There's people out there.
A legit phobia.
There's people out there and saying that, you know, that this is all just because of 5G. That
I think 5G has made this worse. I'm not gonna lie. I don't like it.
Right? Like, imagine if there just was no virus and it was a 5G thing. You know, that would actually make more sense, because we got like athletes like Kevin Durant getting it. We got guys like Dybala getting it in Italy. We got people like Tom Hanks getting it. Like, we got celebrities getting it, right? So we got famous, powerful people getting it. How could that happen? Like, you know, I'm
still getting sick and people are still dying.
I know, but if possibly it just does go away, then at that point in time, would we think that maybe there was no coronavirus at all? And it was.
I think this one's here to stay. Yeah, is it true that he was a physician? Because I heard that author was a physician as well.
I have no idea. I haven't even read the book. I've just seen parts of it, and people have shown me stuff.
Yeah.
I haven't personally read it.
I sent it to you like a couple months ago.
Yeah. You probably know more than me.
Because that scared me a bit. I was like, what? Nah, that's creep show. All the way. It's creep show. I hope it goes away, because this new world.
Unless you do it online. You can't.
Oh, guess what? We're running out of money in our ATMs. I learned that yesterday. I hope they replenish it, but that happened to me in January, right?
Yeah.
I linked them up with this powder that we have here called Kratom. And Chris is really into it. It's really nice. Anyways, he needed some more. So he's like, so yesterday he goes, if I e-transfer you some cash, can you pay the Kratom guy and he'll ship it to Canada to me? I'm like, yeah, totally. And I didn't have any cash on me. So otherwise I would have told the guys, but I'm like, yeah, I'll just go to the ATM in a bit. No worries. Anyways, I went to 5 different ATMs and none of them had money.
Wow.
I was like, oh, I didn't think about this part, but I did find one that had money. So I took a lot more than I needed. Good. Just because what if?
Well, I think that's probably why they're running out of money, because people are thinking like you, right? They're seeing issues.
I didn't think of it.
What's
that's
that?
The whole thing is I didn't think of it. I was like, oh, I don't need cash. Like I'm eating my own food. My rent's paid for 15 years. I don't need cash. But then I'm like, yeah, I do. What if there's no cash?
Yeah.
Shit. So yeah, you bet your butt I hoarded some dollars. Like, wow, okay.
That's crazy. Yeah, so we just live in
things you don't think about.
We live in a crazy world, and everyone's going to be on the same level playing field pretty soon here. Everyone's going to have to learn how to live off of $1,800 a month. So, like, how does that work? Like, you're Canadian. Are you going to try to apply for that?
No, not at all. I don't need it. So, nah, I'm not. I'm okay. I hope my family applies for it. Like, they all have a lot of pride, and I don't think they will, but I'm surely not putting out any more money either, because, I got to take care of me too.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, but no, I'm not. I'm okay.
Oh, I have a pick for you. I have a
job and I have savings.
I have a pick for you.
Bring it.
AYTU. Thank you, M. MC is dropping the pick, and I actually like it as well. I haven't bought it.
What is it? I haven't heard of it.
They've got test kits for coronavirus, and they're one of the companies. They're one of the companies that's going to be putting out test kits like ASAP.
Okay, that's gold.
Yeah, ASAP in America. Gold. So AYTU, and they've made some big moves in the market. So keep your eye on them. I think that they're going to explode. I think they're going to explode. So with the amount of cases going up in America, the amount of deaths going up in America, test kits right now are very important. And a company like AYTU apparently can do a test and test you in 2 to 10 minutes, I believe it was.
What?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So they've
What's
got
the accuracy rate? Did you see anything on accuracy rate there?
You know what? I don't know about the accuracy rate. I just know that they can test you in, I think it's 2 to 10 minutes. So they seem to be.
Okay, we're looking at 3 to 5 days over here. Results are coming in for people. Did you see the screenshot I sent you? There's a French guy found dead on his scooter the other day.
Oh my God.
Some French dude was dead on top of his scooter here in Bali, just laying there dead on his scooter. And anyways, the paramedics showed up, hazmated out, and 5 days later, they got his results back that he was COVID. So he's gone, but still. I was like, well, that'd be nice. But no, dead French guy, COVID, just dead on his scooter. Like, how do you die that quickly? Like, from what I know of dying people, you're usually in bed because you have no energy to go out driving around. Like, what is this disease doing that people die while they're out driving?
I think we're just learning about it. We don't know enough about it. I mean, we only know what we had heard from China. And that blows my mind. We're just starting to learn about it, and I think it's very scary. It's very scary.
I've never heard of someone with influenza out driving, dying.
I've also heard that 2 dogs got it. Like, dogs are getting it from people, apparently. And there's people saying that that's not possible, but I think it is possible. So I don't know.
Yes, it is. It absolutely is. Influenza came from birds. Influenza comes from birds. There's a new strain of influenza I don't know if that's right, so don't mark me on that. But yeah, viruses come from animals. Who's to know we don't pass them back?
What do you think about Michelle Clark asking the fact that they're going to be giving $2 billion in stimulus to the Americans? Is that enough? No.
No.
And
No.
And the crazy part is $2 trillion is a huge amount of money. Canada's doing $82 billion. And that is a huge amount for us. But we got 10 times the population smaller than America. So we should be okay with that as a start. The weird part was our deficit was only 27 billion going into this. Now we're printing 82 billion. So just imagine that. And that's just the beginning. That's just the beginning. So we're taking a deficit that wasn't even a deficit before Trudeau got in. And now that Trudeau's in, it's ballooned to 27 billion. And now we're going to print another 82 billion.
Wow.
So we're going to take our deficit to like 110 billion, something ridiculous. So it's
unfreaking believable.
Yeah, and that's just the start.
Yeah, I know. Another thing that I had this conversation with my dad the other day. There's a lot of people who are not trading, investing. So look at like the retirees. Again, they probably started investing in the 80s. Took them, 40 years to grow their retirement money, and it all just disappeared.
Crazy.
So to live in a nursing home, you're looking at like $2,000 a month, and people are using their investment retirement savings to pay that. We have time to anybody our age that's lost money right now, you have time to make that back because you're likely not retiring for 25, 30 years. But these people that don't have the next 30 years to make their money back that just disappeared, who's going to take care of them? So you've got another 20 years of life on that too. That's going to suck up the economy as well.
How are people going to make money back though? Like, I just don't see how it works. Like, anybody. How does that look? You know what I mean? Like, I just don't know the way the world looks after this. Like,
I think there's going to be a little bit of I told you so's. Because I'm pretty sure I pulled most of my holdings out, like within the first week that this was all going on. When all the non-believers didn't.
Well, I don't even mean just pulling your money out of the market. I'm talking about just like, those are people with money, right? I'm talking about people like the average person doesn't even have money to invest, right? Oh, I think we may have lost Amanda in Indonesia. See if we.
Okay.
Oh,
can you hear me?
There you are. Oh, I lost her. Hey.
Hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hello?
Hey, I can hear you.
Cool. No idea what happened.
Yeah, we lost you.
Anyways, as we were.
We're far away, but
okay.
A lot of people don't have savings, right? Like there's the small percentage of people, maybe 5-10% of people that have savings to invest. What about everyone else that doesn't have savings? I mean, isn't that most of the people? I mean,
yes, which is why they need to start investing and taking this time.
No, like, I know that. But what I'm trying to say is, how does everything get back to normal when everyone's rich? Which is what percentage of businesses? Maybe 10%?
I was going to say 5. So yeah.
Right? 10%, maybe they're all going to be forgiving loans. Okay, sure. So they forgive loans for 6 months. Then after 6 months, then what? They've been going through reserves to stay afloat. They've been going through reserves to fix problems. They've been going through reserves to stay alive. And now they got to go back to business, but they may not have any all those people. There's going to be millions of them all over the world.
Yes.
Millions and millions, maybe 1 billion people like this, maybe more. So what the hell happens to them, right? Like people like me, I was making videos before this happened. So it doesn't really change anything for me, really. It changes some things, but it doesn't change everything. It doesn't change my business. So I'm lucky.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people. It does affect my business, but it doesn't change my business. Like it affects my business because companies that I work with, companies that want to get interviewed, they might be going out of business, you know? So it does affect my business, believe me. And they're sitting there thinking, and a lot of these public companies are sitting there thinking, what is our business going to look like in a month, 2 months, 3 months? How are they going to be able to report zeros? How are they going to be able to report financials? Like, and I'm talking about from the biggest companies in the world to the smallest companies in the world. They're all sitting there thinking about what the hell are they going to look like in 3 to 6 months? And when we really think about it's frightening. Like, they were talking, I was watching BBC News and they were talking to an Italian restaurant and the lady was talking about how her sales went down 90% of your revenue and then being shut down. You're done.
Wow.
You're done. Your business is done.
You're absolutely done.
Most people, their livelihood is in their businesses. Their businesses, whatever they make every week or every month, that's what they live off of. So when their businesses are done, that means they're done. Like, they're financially exhausted.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people like this, like a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm really concerned about what's going to happen right now. And I think there's a reason why the banks are reaching out, telling people, hey, you know, we understand your situation. Just let us know so we can make arrangements. Because I think they understand that this is a very, like, this is equivalent to like an asteroid hitting the world, or a tsunami, or a tornado that just devastates the whole world. Like, this is equivalent to some type of disaster where everybody's affected, because
it's going to become a social disease as well.
Everybody is affected.
It's going to become a social disease instead of just a physical disease. So many people. Do you know there's people living right now that are already homeless? Like, what did Trudeau give people a couple days to get home? And then flights were getting canceled left and right. My friends made it home this morning, by the way, to Vancouver from Taiwan. So,
wow.
Yay.
Good.
Yeah, I was stoked about that. But anyways, regardless of that, there's people that were traveling and trying to get home, and flights got canceled on them all the way and couldn't get home. And hotels are closing, and you're not allowed on the street. So there's a lot of Canadians and Americans that are in other countries homeless. Like, they probably have homes back home, but they can't get there. That's mind-blowing. It's like, people are going to be starving to death in strange countries.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That's happening now.
Yeah, we had one of our members.
Legitimately happening now.
One of our members, Cody, is in Maui right now, and he's trying to get out. He's like, they're not letting anybody in, but we're trying to get out, right? So,
why would you want to get out of Maui? Just hang tight, go for a surf, chill. There's lots of food grows on Maui, like food grows here. You're good. You got weed, you got coffee.
I think in a situation like this, you just want to get home and you want to be safe, right? You want to be home.
Yeah, I worry about people. And then you think about, so on my social disease level, when things get real bad in 6 months, what if they don't get their jobs back in 6 months and the bank is saying, all right, time to pay your mortgage? Well, they're going to be homeless. And so that's when they're going to go on welfare.
Yeah.
So our welfare system is probably going to double.
Yep.
So take that, Canadian economy.
Well, that's the thing too, right? Like, everything in life is momentum, right? So now you take a working population and you tell everyone to stay at home and do nothing. Mm-hmm. It's going to just turn everyone into lazy, motivated,
sick people,
unmotivated, depressed, stressed, and you can't even go out of your house to do anything about it.
Yeah.
In the spring and the summer, when it's the best time of the year to be in Vancouver.
I know.
It's like beautiful outside right now, and I can't even really go outside. I mean, I hear kids running around in the neighborhood, but I can't really go outside. You know, I can't really go outside. I mean, it's not right to do that, and everybody is saying that. So, you know, I have to operate by the same rules as everybody else.
Yeah. Even though you're living in the most beautiful part of Canada, you can't even go enjoy it. It's terrible.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I could go in my car.
I wanted to go down for a surf, but there's still so many people down there. I had to come back home. I'm like, still not going out there. Nope. Yeah,
it's a very crazy time. Amanda, once again, we did predict what would happen in Indonesia first.
Sure did.
And we got attacked from people from Indonesia that said that we were wrong, that Indonesia was the Holy Land, that it was protected by God.
Allah. Protected by Allah.
Yeah. Tell me, what are the latest numbers in Indonesia now that you know?
Well, we're at almost 10% death rate. So I think there was 327 diseased as of yesterday. I haven't looked yet today, and close to 30 dead. So I don't know the exact numbers. Maybe you can Google it. I don't have my laptop on right now. But we were touching 10% fatality yesterday. And that's only those that are being tested. That's what you have to keep in mind. So I'm sure our numbers are huge, but people aren't getting tested because lots of people are still feeling invincible. So they've locked down Jakarta. That was the convo I had with you yesterday. They locked down Jakarta, which is the capital of Indonesia, because they had 200 and some out of 300 and some. So Jakarta, the capital, had 2/3 of Indo's confirmed cases. But the other third is still floating around on one of our other 13,000 islands. So it's just going to get uglier. There's 2 Balinese officially. And you have to understand, Balinese, their whole family lives together. Like, they'll have separate bedrooms that you can close, or bedrooms, but they're always together. We have Nyepi coming up on Wednesday. Nyepi is this is in Bali, like a Balinese Hindu thing. Nyepi is family, and there's a huge ceremony that happens all over the island the day before. So all Balinese will be out, like a big parade over the whole island on Wednesday. And then it's a day of silence. So on Wednesday, you're going to have all of Bali hanging out together in, like, you know what parades are like.
Yep.
And then the next day, they're all together for the whole day, for their day of silence. So I'm pretty sure in 2 weeks, you're going to see a retarded surge of cases here. So,
and you know what's crazy is
they're trying to stop Nyepi, but they won't.
It's crazy that they're going to even do that. I just find it so irresponsible, and it gets me so angry. Like, I just don't understand why they would do that. Like, the Irish canceled St. Paddy's Day. I mean, if the Irish are going to cancel St. Paddy's Day, I think that you know the severity of the situation, and you're going to go and you're going to do that. You're going to put all of your people at risk. I mean, it makes no sense. Why people
I know, but they
think
that. They're okay because they eat sambal. Sambal's that spicy sauce I told you about. They think that it's safe because they eat spicy foods, not just sambal. I didn't mean that to be just that one thing, but people still feel invincible here, and I'm scared for them. I am, because the hospitals here are already overwhelmed. There's lots of people in isolation in Bali Hospital. 11, as I heard of 2 days ago, because a friend of mine is isolated. Well, I didn't mean I don't care. I mean, I'm not affected.
I hope she gets well. I hope you stay well,
yeah.
Amanda. Thank you so much
for
chiming in again. Let's do this again soon.
Yeah, good combo.
Stay
Absolutely.
safe. Continue to self-isolate. Amanda is a girl
100%.
from Vancouver Island, here in Vancouver, that lives in Indonesia and has decided to stay there. Despite the fact that she could have come back and spent time with her family, she decided she wants to stay in Indonesia. So we're going to continue to, touch base with Amanda, find out, what's going on. So they're not like locking anything down. Like, you're allowed to just go out in Bali, like, no problem. Because I heard it was in lockdown for 2 weeks.
Only Jakarta has been locked down. That's the capital. That's on Java Island. Oh, okay. So that's only one city and one island. So the rest is still open. A lot of expats here that own big companies, like big businesses, are being smart, and they're starting to close down their businesses to force people to stay home.
Yeah.
But there is clubs and stuff that are owned by locals that are just going to keep juicing cash for as long as they can. And I don't blame them. That's survival. It's the tourists that are the stupid ones that keep going, If people are giving you money, of course you're going to keep taking it, but it's the idiots that keep going. So I just hope that people just start to take it serious here and self-isolate for real. I know probably about half of the people here are, but a lot still don't care. So I know I hate canned food and processed food. I honestly get tears in my eyes thinking about having to eat that. I can't. But I just bought rice and quinoa and sourced out all the vegetables and fruits in my neighborhood. That's it. So I know we'll be okay around here. But yeah, I think people just need to stop being so freaking stupid.
Stay safe, everybody.
Yeah, let's talk about this in a couple of weeks and see if our next predictions come true, because I'm pretty sure they will.
Yeah, I'm frightened to see what the next couple of weeks are going to look like. Oh, my God.
Yeah, me too.
Stay safe. We will definitely report on it. Everybody that's watching, stay safe, guys. Enjoy your day. Amanda, thank you so much once again. Everybody that's watching,
have a great weekend.
Stay safe. Wash your hands.
Yes, and stay home.
Smash that like button.
Okay.
Smash the like button.
Smash it.
Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Hit the bell for notifications to get updates. This is Rich from Rich TV Live.
Yeah, let's see what 2 weeks brings.
That was awesome.